Andrew Luck wasn't just another promising quarterback. He was heralded as the next legend, a once-in-a-lifetime talent with the brains, arm strength, and leadership every team craves. Even as a child abroad, where his father worked in NFL Europe, Luck looked destined for greatness. That destiny came into sharp focus in 2012 when the Indianapolis Colts made him their #1 overall draft pick, effectively placing the weight of their franchise on his shoulders. For a few electric seasons, he delivered. He shattered rookie records, engineered jaw-dropping comebacks, and seemed poised to join the ranks of Super Bowl champions. But under the surface lurked a brutal reality. The hits kept coming. The Colts' offensive line couldn't protect him, and each collision brought him closer to the breaking point. Suddenly in 2019, at the age of 29, the man once deemed a lock for Hall of Fame glory stunned the world by walking away in the middle of a preseason game. Fans who cheered him mercilessly booed as he exited the field. Confused and heartbroken, what drove him to this point? Why did Luck abandon a game that he once seemed born to play? This is the story of a star quarterback who was unstoppable, until he simply couldn't go on. Andrew Luck had football in his blood. His father, Oliver Luck, who once played QB in the NFL and later managed teams in NFL Europe. Young Andrew grew up overseas, absorbing advice from coaches and personnel who marveled at his quick mind and natural feel for the game. It wasn't just about talent. He had an uncanny maturity even as a kid. An amusing legend claimed that Jack Elway, John Elway's father, saw Andrew tossing a ball at age 3 and casually predicted he'd be a top-tier QB someday. Whether that was pure jest or genuine foresight, the potential was clear. By the time the Luck family settled in Houston, Andrew was poised to shine against American competition. Despite being in new surroundings, his knack for reading defenses and throwing pinpoint passes stood out. But Oliver and Andrew's mother, Kathy, emphasized more than just physical ability. They wanted their son to value education, humility, and balance. Andrew's cerebral approach to football would become one of his greatest weapons, setting him apart from other gifted athletes who relied solely on physical prowess. Still, none of this could prepare him for the high-stakes battles ahead. At Stratford High School, Andrew quickly proved he wasn't just hype. By his sophomore year, he was the starting quarterback, blending speed and strength in a dual-threat style that mystified defenders. He threw for over 1,500 yards and rushed for 700 more, revealing a promising mix of classic pocket ability and downfield running. Coaches marveled at his poise. He directed teammates like a seasoned professional rather than a teenager. As a junior, Luck exploded for nearly 3,000 passing yards and 27 touchdowns, capturing regional attention. But it wasn't just football success that had people talking. He also excelled academically and ended up as co-valedictorian. Recruiters from major programs bombarded him with scholarship offers. But Andrew had distinct priorities. He valued academic excellence as much as on-field glory, so he narrowed his choices to schools like Stanford, Northwestern, and Virginia. He committed to Stanford, drawn by its academic reputation and the vision of head coach Jim Harbaugh. Many Texan fans found it baffling that he snubbed in-state powerhouses, yet Andrew remained convinced that Stanford was the best fit for mind and body. Little did he know he'd soon rewrite the school's history, blazing a trail that would catch the NFL's undivided attention. Stanford hadn't been a football powerhouse for quite some time, but Andrew Luck changed that narrative. Redshirted as a freshman, he spent a year learning the offense and polishing his technique. By his redshirt freshman season, he won the starting job, something Stanford rarely granted to newcomers. He led the team to an 8-5 record, signifying an immediate step up from his years of mediocrity. In his second season on the field, Luck shattered school records, helped Stanford achieve a 12-1 record, and claimed victory in the Orange Bowl. He finished as the Heisman Trophy runner-up, drawing attention not just for raw skill, but also for his unflappable leadership. Analysts raved he was already the consensus top pick for the NFL draft, but Andrew stunned everyone by choosing to stay at Stanford for another year to complete his degree in architectural design. Many questioned the wisdom of foregoing a guaranteed NFL payday, fearing a catastrophic injury might derail his future. Andrew stood firm, believing that a Stanford education would hold value beyond football. Despite the risk, he delivered another spectacular season, again finishing as the Heisman runner-up. Finally, with his diploma in hand, he declared for the 2012 draft. By the time the 2012 NFL draft arrived, Andrew Luck was widely regarded as the greatest quarterback prospect since John Elway or Peyton Manning. His size, intelligence, and underrated athleticism made him a can't-miss choice at number 1. So when the Indianapolis Colts secured that pick after a 2-14 season, they bid farewell to the franchise icon Peyton Manning, a move that rocked the fan base. Luck stepped into the role amid massive expectations. Critics wondered if he could shoulder the pressure, especially given Colts fans were accustomed to Manning's brilliance. Early in his rookie season, the results were uneven. At one point, he had as many interceptions as touchdowns, and the team sputtered. Then came a series of comeback wins that showcased his remarkable poise. None were as unforgettable as a last-second game-winning throw against the Detroit Lions. That play instantly solidified his status as a late-game maestro. By the end of the season, the Colts were 11-5, a stunning turnaround for a team that won just 2 games the year before. Luck broke the rookie passing yardage record and carried his team to the playoffs before losing in the wildcard round. A new era in Indianapolis had officially begun. In his sophomore year, Luck further validated the hype. He posted improved completion rates, minimized turnovers, and orchestrated a postseason comeback against the Chiefs that will be remembered for ages. Trailing by 28 points, he remained calm, rallied the offense, and snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. That dramatic performance sealed his reputation as a quarterback who could single-handedly revive a team. By year 3, his star soared higher. He threw a league-leading 40 touchdown passes, surpassing Peyton Manning's franchise record. The Colts landed in the AFC Championship before falling to the Patriots in the infamous Deflategate contest. Yet as Luck's legend grew, so did concerns about his protection. He'd been sacked over 100 times in 3 seasons, an alarming figure. The hits were frequent and brutal. Analysts pointed fingers at the Colts front office for failing to build a sturdy offensive line. Despite drafting well in other areas, Indianapolis made questionable moves, like trading a first-round pick for running back Trent Richardson, who never panned out. Fans wondered if the franchise was squandering Luck's prime. He never publicly complained though. He simply tried to bounce back after each punishing tackle. But no quarterback can endure that forever. The luck began running out in 2015. A slow start led to Andrew suffering a nagging shoulder injury, forcing him to miss games for the first time in his career. Then in a showdown against Denver, he sustained a lacerated kidney and a partially torn abdominal muscle, ending his season. Without him, the Colts missed the playoffs. Recognizing his worth, the team rewarded him with a 6-year, $140 million contract in 2016, making him the NFL's highest-paid player. Still, that financial commitment meant less cap space to rebuild the offensive line or fortify the defense. Luck kept taking heavy hits, including a concussion that cost him another game. Once the 2016 season ended, he underwent surgery on his throwing shoulder. The Colts offered vague timelines for his recovery, insisted he'd return soon, but soon stretched into a full season. Andrew missed all of 2017, traveling abroad for alternative rehab methods. Fans grew impatient and worried. Speculation ran rampant. Was his shoulder permanently damaged? Could he regain form? Finally, in 2018, he made a triumphant return, leading the Colts to a 10-6 record and reclaiming a playoff spot. He also won Comeback Player of the Year, signifying he was back, or so everyone believed. As the 2019 season approached, the Colts buzzed with optimism. Luck was expected to lead a healthy roster into serious contention. Instead, late in the preseason, the news broke. Andrew Luck was retiring. Colts fans learned about it in the stadium before the official announcement, and what unfolded was surreal. Rather than applause for everything he'd done, Luck exited to a chorus of boos. Andrew was only 29 and seemingly on the cusp of his prime. Some questioned his timing, arguing he left the franchise in an impossible situation right before the season. Others emphasized pointing out the Colts never prioritized protecting him. Regardless of perspective, the moment was unforgettable. The superstar celebrated for years, abruptly leaving because he couldn't withstand the grind anymore. The NFL lost a cornerstone figure who might have shaped the league for years to come. Andrew Luck's departure triggered endless speculation. Could he have become the greatest quarterback of his generation if the Colts had surrounded him with a sturdier offensive line and better defense? Even Peyton Manning needed a strong support to reach championships. Luck posted eye-popping stats, commanded near-mythical comebacks, and was brilliant at reading defenses. Yet, less than a decade into his career, he walked away without a ring and without fulfilling his potential. The Colts, desperate to move on, cycled through a parade of short-term quarterbacks, from veterans to rookies trying to recapture some semblance of Luck's magic. That revolving door suggests they never fully recovered. Some fans still grumble about the front office's choices, claiming they effectively ran the best quarterback prospect in a generation into the ground. Meanwhile, Andrew Luck largely vanished from the public eye. When rumors popped up about a possible comeback, he remained silent, focusing on his life outside the grueling NFL spotlight. Does he regret retiring so young? Or is he at peace with preserving his mind and body? The league can only wonder what might have been if this extraordinary talent hadn't been pushed beyond his limits. Andrew Luck's story is one of breathtaking promise, triumphant highs, and an ending no one saw coming. He became the face of an NFL franchise in a short span, broke records, and rivaled legends with his pinpoint passing and unshakable composure. His style was equal parts intellect and brutal strength, a rare combination that enthralled fans. Yet behind the achievements lay a bitter truth. Countless sacks and injuries shredded his body and his devotion to football. When he finally announced his retirement, it was a jolt that reverberated through the league. Some called him selfish, others admired his bravery, but the overriding sentiment was heartbreak, both for the fans who lost a generational quarterback, for the athlete who felt forced to choose health over legacy. Andrew Luck now remains an enduring what-if, a cautionary tale of how quickly the NFL can deplete its biggest stars if it fails to protect them. He gave us brilliance, grit, and classy sportsmanship. In return, he left the game on his own terms, preserving what was left of his spirit. Few NFL stories have captured so much hope, so much talent, and so much regret. Andrew Luck's legend endures as a reminder that greatness, if not properly safeguarded, can burn out far too soon. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.